All right, Bitcoin Tuesday update. Let's get right to it. We'll start off on the hourly chart and then we'll zoom out. We'll go to the 4 hour, the daily, maybe the 3 day, then the weekly. Just give you a summary of all my thoughts and no BS fluff. Let's get right to it. The hourly chart, right? We're looking to, we've tested this blue line. What is that? That's the 100 EMA on the hourly chart. Now, the hourly chart in itself is much less important than, say, the weekly 3 day chart. Hopefully that makes sense, right? You don't want to be doing your full analysis on a 5 minute chart and a 15 minute chart or an hourly chart, right? But hourly chart's really the most you want to really be zooming in at to do any kind of analysis. And even so, much less weight to it. Okay, so having said that, let's look at our, structural wise, you still want to kind of hold your foundation. And, TA is still kind of important here, but, just on really support and resistance levels, I wouldn't put much weight into it other than support and resistance. So having said that, right, look at our previous kind of resistance zone, right, multiple touches, and, that should be our throwback, and we should not, right, go much below that. If we do, that spells the odds increasing of further downside. We also have this pink line, which is the 200 EMA, right? That's your biggest moving average that you really track. So as long as you're above your 200 EMA, you're relatively bullish. If you're below it, you're more bearish by definition. So that's where I'd be looking for a stopping point on the hourly chart for the bulls to remain in charge, at least on this low time frame. Okay. So volume is also decreasing, as you can see on the bottom here. I just have the volume and then overlaying an average, right? That blue line. So as the volume decreases and price decreases, that's actually a bullish sign. So we'll see if that plays out. But again, just the hourly chart. So let's zoom out a little bit. This is really where I start to really pay attention. Just the 4 hour, that's about as low as I go normally, unless we're kind of at a pivotal point. But there's that same zone on the 4 hour chart. This orange line is the 34 EMA. Really, the more important one is this 21, which we've held, right? We've been below it, so this is nothing new. But we have, about an hour and a half. So depending on when you watch this, go check where we closed at. If we closed under this yellow 21 EMA, the odds are again increasing of us testing further downside. It could just be a wick, but if you close under the 21, really the bigger bulls are, falling asleep, right? To keep the bulls in, full force, you got to be closing above your 21 at your last case. The best case is you hold the EMA 8. That's where the big bulls show up and your bigger moves can still continue. I mean, look back here, right? Your breakout, your throwbacks, right? Throwbacks are, bullish retests of EMA 8s, right? Look at this. We just hold, right? No flirting with closing under the 21, right? This is when you're really got the big bulls on full blast. Your Ferrari's doing 200 and, no traffic in sight here, right? This is good stuff. And then, massive move, right? Big breakout. So, still same thing, really, this kind of zone, but, less important. It's seemingly, right, or less of a weight on even the 4 hour, because there's, the 50 EMA, who cares? 34 EMA, not really. Really, this is just support and resistance, right? Your bullish retest of a previous resistance point, breakout, bullish throwback, bullish retest so far is still okay. It's around 27.2. If you see prices under 27.2, right, pump the brakes, right? We could be going down further. Our 200 EMA on the 4 hour chart, right, way down at 26.8. If we go under that, you got to be leaning back to the bears again. But so far, we're still good, right? This has just got maybe a little bit too heated, too quick, and we're just coming back down. The real test probably happens likely down here if we get down there. If not, right, say we close back above 27.5 and, at the end of this candle at an hour and a half at noon Eastern time. If we've closed at 27.5, that's still more bulls are still awake, right? We're still in charge, and I would say the odds are either further consolidation or upwards, right? 27.5 closed this candle. If we close under again, right, likely spells, I would say 90% chance or higher that we test 27.2 area, and then we'll see if we bounce on this breakout level. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit more. Go to the daily. We'll keep it as just as much information packed as possible, and try not to waste your time any more than time can be wasted. So let's look at our look at the volume here, right? Nice, decent sell volume, right? Bigger than most, even kind of matching with this sell volume, but really we're still okay here, right? Let's remove that zone. That's not really a factor anymore here. But as you can see, that zone was still kind of including that EMA 8 right here at 27.2. So there's our daily EMA 8 is right there at 27.2. So ideally, we'd want to see something like we saw on the 4-hour on the daily chart. So what I mean right here, right? So on the daily, right? Imagine this is the daily. We get a throwback to the EMA 8, hold it for, handful of days or weeks, and then, or not weeks, right? Handful of days or a week, right? And then we make an even bigger move. So imagine that 4-hour chart is now like we're way back, right? We're getting ready to test our initial waters, right? Our initial bull waters. Are we going to remain bullish? This is the point, right? The blue line. Why the blue line? The 100 EMA. Well, look at the previous resistance. Where did we reject off of? 3 times. I posted this on Twitter last week, right? This is resistance until proven otherwise, and we've proved otherwise so far, right? We've broken out. There's 3 clear, concise rejections off of the 100 EMA. Here's our breakout, bullish throwback so far. This should hold. This should hold. The odds of this holding are higher than it failing because of that, right? This is what you want to, this is all TA is useful for, is to trying to increase your odds of the next move, right? There's nothing else TA is useful for. It's all past and all history, and all that you're trying to do is trying to increase your odds of the next move. It doesn't mean it's going to happen, right? How many things have looked textbook? It's got to happen. Textbook head and shoulders, textbook bull flag, textbook bear flag, and it fails, right? Patterns are only about, at best case scenario, 70% chance of happening. That's best case, right? So anybody saying, like, there's a textbook bull flag or textbook head and shoulders, this has to happen. No, right? Get away from those people. But I like our odds here, right? Because of the 3 previous rejections, clear resistance should flip to clear support. So far, yesterday, we tapped it, support. Today, are we going to tap it again? Maybe. Who cares? As long as we close above it, that's support. I would even take the going down to 27.2 with a wick and then closing back above 27.350, right? That blue line. So let me get you an exact number. That won't change much throughout the day. 27.327. So, give or take, it'll change a couple dollars, but that's where we want to close of today. That's what we're looking at. Okay. So today, what's the number? The blue line, the 100 EMA 27.327, right? That's where we're looking to close, and nothing else, right? That's, you don't got to do it. You ain't got to make this whole thing too complex, right? Just 27.3. If it closes above that, you're great. Probably going to move up higher. If it closes below that, not so great. You want to watch the EMA 8, the 200, right? You definitely want to be closing below that. If it closes back alone under 27K, watch out. Bears could pull a quick one, right? Okay, let's save time. Let's try to keep this under 10 minutes, and let's go to the weekly. All right, so the weekly, where do we close? We closed a nice bullish weekly candle. This is a huge candle with not much upper shadow, which likely, TA wise, that is a bullish, about as bullish candle as you get. It's almost a shaven head, right? Shaven head candles are absolutely bullish. Shaven heads, why the hell do they call them that? Because they have no upper shadow, like the little hairs, right? Those are probably the most bullish you can get, right? You don't really see those that often. I don't see any out here, right? Maybe this guy was close, but this is for the weekly candle to close like that, that means buyers were buying up until the exact close, right? You don't want to see the opposite of that. It tends to not go super bullish, right? But look at the top of these rallies. Look at all these upper shadows, right? A lot of selling pressure pushing us down. Here, not that, right? So far, we want to pay attention to how this weekly closes. We would not want to close below 27K this week. That would also take out the 21 EMA. That would take out the 8 EMA, and that would close, be a dark cloud cover is what that's called. If you make a brief higher high and then close halfway below the previous candle, especially on a weekly, that would not be good. Would likely lead to more downside. This would be just another kind of just a bounce, or just a relief rally, so to speak, and we would still be in fact, a downtrend, which you can put this on closing prices, and then you can draw your little trend line. By the way, if you closing price this line, right, this is the most accurate way to be drawing any kind of line. Certainly trend lines, anybody not doing this is probably doing it incorrectly, or just trying to cherry pick data and fit their narrative. So this is what you want to do, right? There you go. And then you can switch it back to candles, right? There you go. That's how you draw a proper trend line, right? Who cares about the wicks, right? That just tells you where it went in a given second. The closing prices is what you want, right? And you want to try to draw it as pretty even keel as possible, with the most touch points without going through the middles of candles, right? Certainly closes, but there you go. So we would love to close above said trend line. That would be great. But diagonal lines are less important than, horizontal support and resistance levels. All right, I'll kind of wrap it up there. Volume, pretty abysmal. We'll do updates. We'll try to do these more often. If you like this, let me know. If you want to see these daily, maybe you want to see them on Chainlink daily. Not really a reason. Chainlink's been bound sideways for 78 years, but my Chainlink videos seem to do quite well. So if you want it, you got it. Bitcoin summary for Tuesday, October 3rd. Hopefully you liked it. Outro with the quote of the day.